No, definitely a challenging last week, pitching-wise. Um, we're looking for someone to come in, turn it around. Tonight wasn't Patty's night. He went out there. He looked normal. He made some good pitches. They put a lot of balls in play, and they all seemed to find some grass. So, of course, frustrating, obviously, to say the least. Not being in the game after only a couple of innings is tough because it's happened a few times to us now. But again, we can use it as some motivation. We can look at it, a lot of different ways. We just have to go out there and make good pitches. We've had a lot of good stretches of baseball. We're not in one of them at this exact moment. Probably got to look ourselves in the mirror and look at the last week and say that. But we get the right guys out there. We're going to keep preparing them and letting them go out there and play.
Speaking of having guys out there, what's Royce's condition?
We don't know a lot right now. He does have a left hamstring strain of some kind. I can't tell you how severe at this moment. He actually tested relatively well after the game upon examination in the training room. We're going to bring him in tomorrow and check him out, see how he comes in. A lot of the times you learn a lot just by how the guy shows up the next day, how he can move around, what he's capable of doing. That'll tell us a lot, and then we'll be able to make a decision of some kind as far as the next step, one way or the other.
Do you think you'll send him for an MRI or something tomorrow, or you just don't know yet?
Not yet. We're going to bring him in. And again, when you bring a guy in after he's dealing with something, you can learn pretty quickly what he's going to be capable of and what he's not. And that's our plan tomorrow. We'll let the trainers get a good look at him, and then Nick will be able to make a call at that point.
Chris said his stuff actually felt pretty good. Was there anything in particular that you were kind of noticing from him?
I mean, to be honest, not really. Not from my vantage point where I'm watching. They make a lot of contact. The Astros will use the whole field. That's just kind of who they are as a team. There's not a ton of swing and miss in their lineup. So you're going to end up, whether you want to pitch to contact or not, you don't really have a choice because they're going to normally put some balls in play. And that's what they did. I think there were probably a few pitches that he didn't want up that he did leave up. Can I tell you that's the reason why the outing was as challenging as it was? I can't tell you that either. But obviously, there were some pitches, located in spots that he wasn't aiming for, and they made us pay. It was almost from the start because some of those pitches early on, some of them weren't even strikes. Some of them were on the very fringes of the zone, and they put pretty decent swings on them, and every swing seemed to find some space, whether they hit it hard or soft. So it was just a difficult day. Trying to get outs out there, but again, we got to turn the page. We got to move on. We got to hand the ball to our next guy, who is Joe, tomorrow, and let him carry us for a little while and go pitch.
Sent down 8-1. You sent Chris out there again for the fourth inning. Is that a reflection of the bullpen being stretched these past few days?
Yeah, it is, and that's part of what we deal with on a daily basis. And we've had a week this week where we haven't gotten a ton of length from the starters. That's just what it is. So with that, you're going to have days where you just have to let the guy keep pitching. And no, you don't want to have him going out there and keep pitching, but Chris had no issue with anything. He takes the ball every time. He's never wanting out of a game in any way, shape, or form. He just keeps pitching until you go shake his hand and tell him he's done. So he probably would have kept going even further if we asked him to, but I don't think it was worth it at that point. We had to get some of our relievers in there. Griffin had to throw today. He hadn't thrown in a while. So we had some guys that could throw, but we didn't want to use everyone, of course.
Now that it's over, how impressive was the scoreless streak Danny put together over the course of these few months?
I realized he still had the 0 up there. Pretty amazing, and it was not just a great streak of innings. He was pitching really important, but we would call him in, and he did a really great job, not just with his runs. You know, you look at his ERA, it's sparkly, you know. But he did a great job with some other people's runs where he would come in a situation with people on and just get it done. And I think he likes both opportunities. So he's been obviously a real bright spot for us in the bullpen. And, you know, I don't know if anyone's ever had a scoreless year, but he certainly had a really nice stretch right there.